Hey everyone, Robert from AIO Integrations here. Just wanted to let you know we're converting our blog to a video blog as of today. We've been working on this for a little while. We're excited about it. We think it's going to be a fantastic thing and make it a little more interactive and fun for everybody. So, without further ado, let's get on with what we're going to be talking about today. By the way, to find this, you simply go to one of this is our main support website, AIOsupport.net, and go to in the queue, and you will find the section here. Basically, it'll list it here, and you will. There's only one article in here now. This is the blog we just published. We started republishing in the queue about a week ago, but we're actually going to have a video format from now on. So we think that'll be a lot more fun and interesting. But what we're going to be talking about today is exactly this category, and it's mainly because how important it is. There was some very big news in the cybersecurity world that happened over the course of the last couple of weeks, and I actually got to attend one of the demonstrations actually a week ago, Sunday, and I can tell you that I did not sleep well that night. Mainly, I'm a Linux user. I am one of those people that believe there are other platforms more secure than Mac, Windows, and but because we support Windows and Mac, we obviously use those. I actually have been a Linux user. I've used all three for years. I've been in this industry 30 years now, and Linux was one I used in my personal preferences and with my family for a long time. But now ransomware has become operating system agnostic. It doesn't care anymore. It now runs natively on Mac and Linux just as easily as it would on Windows, and that is a scary thing. The demonstrations I saw were absolutely frightening to me to know that this is in the wild and that the distribution for this has increased by 300% just over the last 30 days, and it is rising fast, which mean and the detection rate on it is so low. It's not being caught. It's causing damage, and it's just another round of tools for cyber criminals to attack another group of people. So let's talk about what's happened. Ransomware has evolved. I mean, in the very beginning, ransomware was kind of it was rogue actors. Yeah, you had some state actors, but it is a business now. Make no mistake about it. In the last 3 years, it has went from 32 billion to 64 billion to last year in 2020, it was nearly 121 billion dollars in damages and ransoms being paid. And it is a business. These are people in offices just like you. I mean, but they make a living off of wrecking companies and selling information. So let's talk about what's changed besides the fact that the actors are much more organized and much different. And it's going to be more important than ever for you guys to have protection. There's a couple ways we'll talk about this in a minute. So yeah, and one of the big reasons why Windows was always targeted is because 93% of the entire user base globally is on Windows. So it's a massive target. But they're finding that, the Mac and the Linux side is just as profitable because they're going after Linux servers now, and now that affects a lot of businesses as a lot of the internet is powered by Linux. So they're going after, encrypting, website data, things like that. There's just so many ways for them to hurt us now, and it's becoming more evident that this is going to be an ongoing threat. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on, they're going to come after you. Small businesses right now are one of the biggest targets, and it's because they're the least protected target. And we're going to talk about ways to deal with that later. So, what's changed? It's no longer about just encrypting your information and putting it, stopping you from accessing it. While they're doing that, they're also copying it. So now they're stealing the information. This becomes a whole different ballgame. And in larger organizations, they can be camped in your network for months looking around, trying to find what the best way to hurt you. And then they make themselves known when they suspect they're close to being detected or caught. And they're very good at what they do. So this makes it so hard for business owners. It's just so hard. And this is why so many people are getting caught every day. I just posted yesterday three new huge, breaches that happened for both in the medical industry and the food industry. Uh, and I mean, just in the last couple of months, T-Mobile again was breached. Something like 64 million accounts affected. Come on. Or I don't know if it was that many. It was, I think it was somewhere around 30 something million accounts, but it was a big number. T-Mobile's an international company. They provide services all around the world. And that is just a huge number. So getting back to what they're doing, they are stealing the data. And so now it isn't just about, okay, well, I don't have to worry about that. I got a backup. I'll just get this crap off my system and I will, restore my backups. No big deal. I lost a little bit, I lost my stuff today, but that's no big deal. And you deal with the downtime and you're back up. Well, that's all great, but now you have another facet that you have to deal with, and that is now they want you to pay the ransom in order to prevent them from distributing your data or selling it or publishing it. Oh, whole different ball game. Now you have not only issues with responsibility to your clients and to your direct contacts, but now you have third-party liability to worry about. Good example of this. So everybody knows about the SolarWinds breach, and that was, SolarWinds is a major provider of managed software services for managed service providers, people that manage, IT companies that manage networks. And so their software that gets installed on these servers and endpoints allows administrative access into these computers. I mean, and we're talking about thousands of computers, thousands in the hundreds of thousands across the world. And so when they got breached, they actually, were allowed access into those machines and they stole information from those machines, from their client networks. So now they took that information and they actually, this was about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, a month and a half. They turned around and they attacked Microsoft's network, their login network, and went after it because with the data they stole from SolarWinds. Well, guess what that just opens the door for? If that's, if Microsoft can prove that the data, this is what we're hearing. We don't know if it's, true or not. This is what you hear in the news and can't believe everything you hear in the news. But if that is actually in fact true, that means Microsoft could turn around and, sue SolarWinds for third party liability because their breach caused their network to be breached or attacked. So yeah, it's a huge responsibility now. So companies need to be protected not just with real time protection, no matter how big and small you are. And I'll talk to you about that because there is stuff out there that is made for even if you're a home business and you want protection, it's there. And you're, one guy or two guys or five or 10, it doesn't matter anymore. You can get Fortune 5000 real time security product that is enterprise level for an individual small business now. Absolutely wonderful, and I'll talk about that. The second thing is cybersecurity awareness training, and we're going to talk about that, and that is huge. So this is a nice little read we did, and it's about, what's happening, the mainstream illusion, the truth about what's out there and what it does, and then we talk about the two things we just talked about here. So I'm going to take a minute and talk about Transmosis One. Transmosis One is it's a product that was actually built by Transmosis. Now, Transmosis is the main company, Transmosis, is a cybersecurity company that actually builds, okay, they actually build and certify cybersecurity platforms and train personnel. So, very huge thing. And the fact that these are the people actually training and certifying the professionals, and they've been doing it for 5 years. So they came up a little less than a year ago. They came up with a product called Transmosis One, and they built it using the professionals they were training. They built a professional cybersecurity virtual NOC, and these guys are basically monitoring this platform, Transmosis One. There's two parts of this that are actually three parts that are really powerful. Okay, the first part is they have a really next generation AI that's artificial intelligence that powers the antivirus and a ransomware engine in it that gets installed on your local desktop. And when I tell you it is powerful, it is the best thing I've seen so far in detection. Second thing is they turn around and they actually have real people, a 24/7 knock that monitors those endpoints in that AI. So they're being alerted when things are happening and reacting in real time. The last thing is they're putting their money where their mouth is. This product comes with $500,000 in cyber liability insurance. And that's nothing to laugh at. And that's included in the price of the product. So if you're a home user, 29 bucks a month, you get basically real enterprise class cybersecurity protection. It replaces your existing, the antivirus you're paying for because it comes with a much better engine. Secondly, you're getting an anti-ransomware protection and you're getting the insurance to back it all in one product. So, and when I tell you that this stuff is great, it's really is. So this is the website transmosis.com/transmosis1. It's linked in the article. And you can look at the different things about the operations center, the policy. Here's the insurance, everything about the insurance coverage is in here. And they talk about how much for liability, loss of use, the whole thing. And there is some big news happening. I can't talk about this, but in November, this is going to be dramatically increased. I can't tell you how much or what limits yet, but I will be able to tell you that this is based on what I know, this coverage is going to be doubling by the end of the year. So, and it's going to be retroactive. There's no contract for this software, by the way. It's just sign up for it, buy it month to month. Um, it's an absolute fabulous product. If you guys are looking for this, make sure you just message us. We have a discount for our clients. We're happy to give it to you. And wonderful, wonderful product. Check it out, look at it. I think that you will find it is, I mean, amazing as we do, and this is what we do for a living. And I can't say I was always a big proponent of Bitdefender. Their products are wonderful. They do a great job at shutting this stuff down on Windows. And they do have a Mac and a Linux product. But the only problem is that the new variants that are out, we haven't adequately tested those platforms yet to see whether they can protect against it. Where this, no, it works, no, it does its job, and it includes that insurance component that backs it. This is the only product on the market that the insurance companies actually back, and that's saying something. So I'm going to go ahead and also talk about another aspect of this. So that's the real-time protection. That's where you can actually make sure, besides your backups, you can make sure you're real-time protected, make sure your information doesn't get leaked, period. This stuff reacts within seconds and stops it from happening in the first place. The second part is going to be about a product called KnowBe4. Now, KnowBe4 is pretty much the standard in cybersecurity awareness training. These guys, it's all they do. They're number one at it. They have over 17,000 clients across the world that do this, and I'm talking about corporate clients. We have a smaller program that we've done that is geared around individuals and home businesses that because their product really it requires a minimum, and I believe it's like 100 people, but so you have to be a small business, small to medium business to get that kind of. I think you can get as little as 50 now. I think 50 is kind of the limit, but we have a program that we do that's much off of that. Now, it doesn't include one of the things they do, and that is they do in addition to the training. And I'm talking about ongoing training. In other words, where you're getting training, and we make sure that people are trained. We track whether they've been certified or not, whether they passed they got to take a test. They got to know that we have to know that they learned what we taught them. The last thing is that there's ongoing training. This is where KnowBe4 is just unparalleled. So they have a anti-phishing part of their program that actually fishes your employees in real time, and it's meant to catch them off guard and when they are doing things they shouldn't be or not paying attention. And instead of that going to a hacker, it goes to a legitimate site from KnowBe4 that is there to say, hey, you accidentally clicked on something you shouldn't. Here's what you did wrong. Here's what you should be looking for in the future so you don't do it again. This is also reported to the IT admins so you can actually see your risk mitigation start to go down over time. So these two things in general in a company lower your overall risk of being hurt by ransomware by over 87%. That's a 87% risk reduction of being affected by ransomware by just doing those two things. And that's because the endpoints are how 92% of the the network breaches that are happening through endpoints. That's people. Social engineering. They're getting to employees through social engineering, and they are actually getting to these people, and all they need is one person to mess up. Doesn't matter the size of the company, and they can get in, they can camp in there for months, and they can get what they need and damage a company in ways you can't imagine. So that's what we're talking about today. That's going to be it for today. Wanted to tell you guys about this. The big new takeaway from this is that ransomware is now running on Mac and Linux natively. It's huge. And there's not adequate protection for it, so it's going to have a higher risk of infection than the platforms on Windows who already have so many different variants and programs that are looking out and can detect it and stop it. Not that can't say the same thing about Mac and Linux. So if you are on those platforms and you don't know about this, be very careful about what you open up. Remember, when in doubt, delete. Look out for mysterious stuff. These are scripts that they basically execute commands that are built into the system. They don't need to deliver payloads. They just need to execute a script. And that script will ruin your day very quickly within minutes. So and it can be embedded in PDFs, pictures, it can be embedded in Word documents, Excel documents, you name it. So just be very, very careful. Like I said, when in doubt, delete. You guys have a wonderful day. We will be publishing another one soon. We're going to be doing all sorts of new things about tips, ways to go to convert your office to serverless. If you're looking to cut the cord, get rid of your big old server sitting in the closet that turns your closet into a sauna for most small businesses because they don't ever air condition them. We are going to have all sorts of neat tricks about how to make the most out of your Office 365 subscription. We're going to be talking about the new Windows 365 product, which is their virtual desktop product. We got a lot of new stuff coming up, and of course Windows 11, which is in beta. In fact, you're looking at it right now, and we are on Windows 11 right now. And there's a lot of new things about it. There's going to be um, some big headaches that come with it, though. We've already been doing a lot of testing with new installs versus upgrades, and of course, the upgrades are always the problem. So, we're going to be talking about what to look out for, where to get it, when it's going to be out, and all that kind of stuff. So, tune in. We'll catch you next week, and have a wonderful day.